Okay, we've come a long way so far, but we've still got a little bit left to do here. Our logo needs two last components. First of all, it needs the mustache underneath the hat, and then it needs some of those little highlights around the outside of the brim of the hat as well. So, in order to pull this off, we're going to have to use some tools that we may be just a little bit nervous about using. Number one is the pencil tool, and of course, the second one is everybody's favorite, the pen tool. Don't worry though, these tools are not hard to use once you know how to control them properly. So let's go ahead and start with the pencil tool first. You can do that by pressing the letter N on your keyboard or by selecting the pencil tool right here. The pencil tool in previous versions of Illustrator before the CC line of Illustrator apps were released was a little difficult to handle. In fact, it wasn't really advisable to use it at all. But in CC, they've started to really revamp how the pencil tool works, and I'm actually really happy with it. Even if you're not drawing with a drawing tablet, there are ways now to control the pencil tool so that you get nice, smooth paths every time. Now, I've put my drawing tablet away for this exercise to show you exactly how this would work if you were drawing with a mouse. So hopefully this gives you a real-world example of how the pencil tool actually works. Let's go ahead and double-click on the pencil tool over here. When you double-click on the pencil tool, it comes up with the pencil tool options, and at the very top, there's this very big slider that says Fidelity, and it's got accurate and smooth on either side of it. Which one do you choose? Well, here's basically how I break this down. If you're using a drawing tablet and you do not want Illustrator to overwrite the strokes that you're making, then I would tend to lean more towards the side of accurate. If you are using a mouse and you are not as confident about the strokes that you are making, I would make this go all the way over to smooth. Let me show you the differences between the two. That way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's start off first by going all the way over to accurate. If you're using a drawing tablet, this probably won't be the best demo in the world because you're already going to be making smooth pencil strokes. But if you've got a mouse or you want to try this with your mouse, you'll get a much better understanding of why this is so important. So, push that over to accurate, hit OK. All right, now I'm out here on the canvas, I'm using a mouse, and what I'm going to do is just try to draw several curved segments around the bottom, just like this. And you can see as I'm doing that, do you see the little jagged lines that appear? Look at that. Look how many anchor points are put onto this path. Unbelievable, right? Now, I'm going to do the same exact thing, but this time double-click the pencil tool, and I'm going to drag it all the way over to smooth. Hit OK. Now, same thing. Now, I'm not going to release my mouse yet, but look at the path I've drawn. Do you see how jagged it is? Now, watch what happens when I release my mouse. Automatically smooths it out. No jaggedness. Minimal anchor points. That's what this new option in the pencil tool is going to do for you. It's going to enable you to draw smooth even when you don't have the ability or the tools to do so. So I highly recommend turning that on if and when you're drawing with a mouse or if you're just not confident with the strokes that you're going to make. Now for this particular logo that we're working on, let's select both of these and just remove them. For this particular logo we're working on, we want to draw the mustache. So let's zoom in. And you can do that with Command or Control Plus on the keyboard. Once you've zoomed in, you can pan around by holding down the spacebar key and just clicking and dragging your document window. So I'm going to go right underneath here, and I want to draw the mustache. Very easy to do. Grab the pencil tool first. Start right underneath something like this. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to go slow, so don't worry about it. We're just going to go up and around and then back down like so. When you see the little circle, that means you're about to complete the path. Just let go of your mouse, and Illustrator will do the rest for you. You can see there that Illustrator did a very good job of smoothing out the path that I drew. Let me undo this and do it one more time. Let's start right about here. We'll go down, out, around, and close the path. There we go. And see, Illustrator does a nice job of getting that first part for me. Now, here's the best thing about Illustrator. You don't have to draw it twice. If you're doing something that requires an exact mirrored copy on the other side, you do not have to do it twice. Just simply go up to the Edit menu, hit Copy, and then hit Edit, Paste in Front. That will give you a copy of the object directly in front of itself. Then I'll grab my Selection tool, right-click, Transform, Reflect. If you want to see a preview, there it is. It just flip-flops it. Hit OK. Move it over. We'll select both of these, flip the stroke, and there we have it, our finished mustache on our logo. Now, what about the little highlights on the hat? Those are pretty easy to do as well. Let's grab the pen tool by pressing the letter P on our keyboard. Now, I know the pen tool is something that a lot of people are afraid of, but don't worry about it. Pen tool is actually pretty easy to control once you know the secrets. So what we're going to do here is we're going to first make sure that we have no fill and no stroke. So come over here, target the fill, set it to none. Target the stroke, set it to none. Once both of those are done, what I'm going to do is come out here, and I'm just going to start right here. I'm going to click to place an anchor point. Go down. You see this? It follows me wherever I go. This is a preview of what I'm drawing. If you want to hold down the Shift key to make sure this is a straight line, you can do so. And so I'm just going to click just shy of the band. Go over, click, and then just make it like a little triangle. There we go. So there's point number 1. If you want to select that, you can see it, and you can give it a color. In this case, let's just do something like a light gray. There we go. Okay. Now let's draw the ones inside the hat. So we'll start here. Just inside, make an anchor point, then go where you want the next point to be. You could also go about halfway up if you wanted to, and you could draw something like this. But I think that's a little too complicated. So let's just do 1 point, go right up here, drag it up, and you want to drag in the opposite direction you want your curve to go. So if you want the curve to go up and to the left, drag down and to the right. Once you have that done, pretty much good, right? Now, here's the part that frustrates people, because I want this to be like an arc, right? But when I try to do that, Illustrator has this weird like whip thing that happens where it just kind of creates this big bulge over here. Well, I want Illustrator to stop doing that. The easiest way to make it to stop is to come back to the last point you drew, hold down the Option key on Mac, the Alt key on PC, and when you have that, you can click, and that's going to remove that long control handle and allow you to make just a standard anchor point. Now, dragging the opposite direction you want the curve to go. There we go. To complete, hold down the Command or Control key and just click anywhere outside. All right, there's that one. Let's do one more. Drag up. There we go. Reset the pen tool. There we go. And then the last one here, 1, 2. Reset. There we go. Now, take these and you can just kind of move them into place wherever you want them to be. You can also use the direct selection tool. That's the little white arrow up here. And you can select the anchor points and you can make changes. So if you need to make them thicker, if you need the curve to be a little different, whatever you think you need to do, you can do that and then just move them wherever you think they need to go. So there we go. There are our little highlights and our mustache. You probably didn't think you had it in you, but as you can see, the pencil tool and the pen tool in Illustrator, not quite as scary as people make it out to be.